What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to another Warframe video. So, I was thinking last night, I'm like, you know what? Why did I make this YouTube channel? Well, I made it so I could have a channel for videos that I would want to watch when I was looking for Warframe YouTube content. So, we have a video today that's not our normal thing, but I think it's pretty useful and might be some information a lot of people might find interesting. So, we're going to be talking about the best way to farm Rhino Prime currently. And keep in mind, this strategy applies to basically all unvaulted primes, because like it's Rhino and Nyx right now, even though Nyx is perma-unvaulted, but let's not talk about that right now. Don't let DE know that we realized. We definitely realized. Alright, so if you want to farm Rhino Prime, one of the prizes of this unvaulting, I'm going to show you how today, and you know, like I said, you can do this for basically anything. So, there's lots of methods you can go about doing this. I'm going to recommend to you that for most relics, well, first off, let's just show what we have to work with here. The needed relics you need for Rhino Prime are these four relics. We've got the Neo R1, the Lith B4, the Axii S3, and then Meso N6. Those are the four relics you need to get Rhino Prime, at least in this current unvaulting. So, as far as getting these to drop, the main locations that these come from are going to be Void missions, so in the Void, and also open world bounties. Open world bounties are a unique way to farm these, as they will let you actually target farm specific relics. If you are to farm these relics from Void missions, if you didn't know this, when you complete a Void mission, you get a guaranteed relic at the end of it. That's why speedrunning capture missions like Ukko in the Void is really good for just getting a random relic. But the problem with speedrunning Ukko for these specific relics is it's a gigantic drop table of different relics. So for example, if we wanted to get the Neo R1, that can drop from Ukko. But I want to say there's like at least 15 different relics that can drop from Ukko, competing with that drop rate. So if you want to target farm these relics, I'm going to recommend to you that you either do the Deimos open world bounties that you're seeing on the screen right now, or the Fortuna open world bounties. Now, we do have a technically best bounty out of those two. Let's say, for example, you're trying to farm the Axii S3, which, by the way, is the most annoying one to farm, as Axii relics don't have a capture mission associated with them. When we're going to the Void, we have Ukko, which is for like Neo and Meso, I believe. And then we have the low-level one, which is only going to be Lith relics. So it's not as good as you would think. Axii actually is a hole in our strategy for farming in the Void. So here, I'm going to show you right now what I'm talking about. So right here, this mission right here, you can get Neo and Meso here in like a 30-second mission. 40-second mission, maybe even shorter. Then we've also got Hepit. This one's for Lith. So if you're trying to get those relics for getting Rhino Prime, one of your best methods is going to be going for, we'll talk about those drop rates in a second here, doing Ukko for the Neo R1 and the Meso N6. Like I said, you might go like 20 rounds without even getting what you want, but the amount of time you're spending on getting just one relic in the first place is, the rate's really good. Honestly, because like think about it, like you're getting so many relics when Nezha gets vaulted or whatever. Whoever relics you're getting for that you don't really want, that's technically just more relics you can open up for more ducats in the future, more plat in the future. So you know you could technically, if you were super lucky, you could get 3 Rhino relics in 5 minutes. Because when we talk about the bounties here, they take a lot longer, and there's a chance you to get 0 relics for your time. But the nice thing is, if you're running these bounties, let's say you're not fully maxed out the rank on the Necrolisk Deimos open world. This is a way you get reputation for that as well. Now, we're talking about some more meta stuff here in a second. But as far as the drop rates, we've got, here's an example between the Axii mission or the Fortuna and the Deimos. So, the Axii S3 relic, this is the one that's kind of hard to farm. You could technically do Marduk, the Sabotage in the Void, which, you know, it's just like the Ukko mission. It's like a triple the duration amount of Ukko with lots of relics in the drop table. So for specific target farming, keep in mind, years ago we were cheesing these bounties by doing stage 1 really fast and getting a relic every time. They patched it so you could not get a relic on stage 1 in these bounties. So comparing these two, don't worry about the levels being different on this display right here. It's the same tier basically. So on the Cambion Drift bounties, stage 2, 3, and 4 are going to have a 28.57% chance to drop the relic you want if you're trying to farm the Axii S3 for one of the Rhino parts. The same tier of bounty on Fortuna has only a 25% drop rate on that step. So on stage 4, it's going to be 22% on Deimos and 21.43 on Fortuna. But here's where the difference comes into play. On the very last step, you have a 43% chance to get the axe your luck you want on Deimos and a 50% chance on Fortuna. And keep in mind, if you do all the bonus objectives properly, you get a second reward from that last tier. So if you have two rolls of 50, that sounds a lot better than 2 rolls of 43 on that final step. So you're basically sacrificing 1% drop rate on the 4th step and 3% drop rate on steps 2 and 3 to get the relics by doing the Orb Valus, like Venus basically, versus the Mars one. So I'd say overall you probably want to go for the Venus one. But the beauty of this is, like I said earlier, if maybe you're not maxed out with Fortuna, maybe you're not maxed out with Deimos, you can actually spend your time farming these and getting multiple Rhino sets, because Rhino is good to self-apply. If you don't have Rhino Prime, he's great to have. He will always be valuable, guys. That's why I'm suggesting this. Rhino Prime was just unvaulted. You have so much time to farm lots of relics for Rhino Prime. So, do your Ukko runs. Get the other nice thing about, we can go further on analyzing these different drop rates. Look at how much better the garbage drops for the Deimos bounties are. We have 1,000 endo versus 400 endo on Venus. So for not getting the relic you need, you're getting over double the amount of endo on Deimos versus Venus, which maybe they should just buff the amount you get on Venus, because that seems kind of outdated. 750 Kuva is a potential drop on Deimos as well. And I don't really need a 10,000 credit cache. Thank you very much. So yeah, that's another thing you can look at as well. When you're not getting the drops you want, on Deimos you're technically getting a little bit more rewarded because you can get Kuva and Endo. Now, the Zaku chassis parts, that's kind of a waste. But overall, it's kind of a toss-up, honestly. I'd say pick whichever ones you want out of these two. As far as the Earth one, the Earth one's drop rates are a little bit lower, and those bounty steps are usually really long. It's I think there's multiple types of long defense. Now here's another thing that Venus has going versus Deimos. If you're doing this solo, which I wouldn't recommend doing it solo, honestly, because we'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. On Deimos, the Excavator bounty is the longest one you'll ever have. This is basically be me defending these towers and making sure they can dig out the resources. On Deimos solo, you have to do 2 of these. And the timer for the second one doesn't start until the first one's completed. On Venus, for solo players, there's only 1 tower that spawns. You only need to defend 1. Now keep in mind, that does technically scale how many players you have in your squad. And I would recommend doing this in the squad, because here's the thing. If you are trying to efficiently farm Rhino Prime sets, you're going to probably want to do this to other people, because think about it. If I have 2 people in my squad, me and 1 other person, we can both get the Rhino Relic to drop. And then we can form a squad afterwards, and if I trust that person enough that I don't think they're going to abandon me and steal my relic, basically I open my relic and they leave, you can use that relic, stagger it. If you've ever done a rad stagger in this game, I'm going to make my relic radiant, and let's say my buddy's in the squad, and he also got the Rhino relic. He makes his radiant, but we're going to run the fissure multiple times. So I'm going to go to the fissure. Let's do an example right here. So let's say I want to open the Rhino relic. I got one of those to drop earlier today. That's going to be the, I think that was the Neo R1. I got that one to drop from Ukko at the capture mission earlier in the Void. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. Let's say I have a buddy here, and his name is Joe Schmo. We're going to go to the Neo fissure. We're going to find one that's actually pretty fast. There's no fast ones right now, so this is an example. I go and I search Neo R1. There's my Neo R1 relics I got earlier. I'm going to make this radiant, and I will equip mine. And the guy next to me that I invited, Joe Schmo, he's going to do a random crappy relic that we don't even care about. And then after I open mine, we're going to see if we got the part we wanted. If we got the part we wanted, awesome. We don't really care. The more the merrier. I'll open mine. He'll open his afterwards. The next, we'll run the mission twice. He'll open his, and then if we get 2 in a row, we just doubled how many Rhino parts we're getting from 1 relic drop in these missions. So you can look like that, or you can do a rad all-in, which is what some people do. You get a squad of 4 people, all having the same relic radded, gives you the best chance to get your Rhino part. But if you want to be more efficient, you could maybe have 2 people. Let's say the example I just gave you with Joe Schmo and me. Well, me and Joe Schmo are going to activate our relics at the same time. And then, you know, Mo and Larry, they're going to do their relics on the second run through. So 2x2 versus the 1x1 example I had with Joe Schmo earlier. And it's technically upping your chances, but also making it so if you don't get the part, you didn't just waste your time opening some Hiku blueprint, you know? So those are definitely some things you can consider. The Fortuna also has the potential of just, you know, the map is gigantic on Fortuna. The map on Deimos is really small compared, it's probably like a quarter of the size, a fifth of the size. So if you don't really have a maxed out Arcwing or something like that, that may be something to consider as well, is that navigating Deimos is much quicker than navigating Fortuna, because Fortuna is huge. So, you know, there's a lot more defense objectives on Fortuna and the plains, so I wouldn't, you know, there's definitely things you could analyze for both of these. But overall, I'd say whichever one you need the rep for is what you should go for. Deimos probably is the best one at the end of the day. The drop rate's like a couple percent lower on the last step, but that extra, you know, 600 endo per bounty step that you didn't get the drop you want, that does add up a lot. And, you know, helping you max out your mods eventually, maybe you need to max out those galvanized mods still. Yeah, so that's basically going to be it, guys. Hopefully you found the video helpful. I'll just do a really quick, just pass over here if I was just rambling on. For Neo R1, the best ways to get the relic is to do Ukko in the Void and get lucky, or do the Cambion Drift or Ballast Bounty. It will show you what the potential drop is. It's usually an uncommon drop of the Neo R1. So Ukko and bounties for Neo R1. For Lith B4, do the low-level capture mission. I think it's called Hepit in the Void. Get lucky, or do the lower tier Cambion Drift and Orb Ballast bounties. For Axie S3, this one is going to be really, I'm going to mostly just recommend that you do the high-level Cambion Drift and Orb Ballast bounties. You technically can do Marduk, or you can even do Mott. Mott has like a 12% drop rate, I think, for this relic. But I'd say overall, just go for the bounties for the Axie one. Probably the most annoying one to farm. And Meso N6, exactly the same as the Neo R1. Do Ukko in the Void, or do the specific bounty that will drop it on either the Cambion Drift or Orb Ballast. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. Good luck with your Rhinos. I'd say hoard a bunch of sets, honestly, and once it gets vaulted again, the price will go back up. Rhino was very expensive before he was unvaulted, and he's very useful. Always going to be in the meta because Roar is just a strong ability. He's a reliable frame, and he's still really strong in the grand scheme of things. Take it easy, guys. Peace.